everyone. Welcome everyone to yet another episode of this podcast, Upfront and Personal. Here is your host Ananya, all set to become upfront and personal with each and every one of you listening. Hi everyone. I hope you all are having a great Thursday, you guys. Just 2 more days, 2 more working days, and then we'll meet our beloved weekend. Just hang in there. I am also hanging in there. Just to be fair. I wanted to do a very light topic today. I just telling you 10 things that I don't buy, just completely subjective, because I wanted to do this topic and do this episode for a really long time, but I think more than ever it makes sense today to even talk about it because of COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 pandemic started in 2019 and now we are in 2021 and it's still relevant and it's still, we still have its repercussions on our day-to-day lives and especially on the way we handle our money. Money has become so tight and the way we consider and even analyze our money has completely changed its meaning altogether. I remember I used to look at shopping. I remember I used to look at the different uses that my disposable income might have in a completely different way when the pandemic was not even a thing. And now I look at it completely different way. It has been only a year and it has changed my shopping habits drastically. And I'm sure it has, had the same kind of repercussions on your shopping habits as well. So yeah, I mean, it it made me reconsider, reanalyze the way I look at my money and also the things that I choose to buy. Right now, I think COVID-19, if it has done nothing positive, it has done just one thing. It has absolutely taught us what is absolutely necessary for us and what are the things that we can do away with, what are the things that are, accessory and absolutely not urgent. Um, I have always been a very, very miser person, very, very frugal person. I don't spend a lot of money on a lot of necessary things. So I have had shopping rules since the day I started earning. When I started earning, I started as a lawyer in a law firm and I got this great salary and I had a lot of disposable income to my disposition. I don't think disposition is a word, to my disposal. uh, I'm such a responsible adult. I know all the words obviously. So what happened was I come from a very simple middle class background, right? So all the income, and my father is the sole earning member, so all the income that I would have before, any pocket money or any allowances, they were completely there to just focus on my necessity and not too much on fun stuff. So now, when I had a disposable income on my own, that I was the person responsible for it, I panicked and I knew that I needed rules and I needed some discipline to be in place so that I don't just blow off that money, because that money can really, serve me in future, especially in times like these. It's extremely important for all of us to have savings, and to not have savings in such a time is such a scary position to be in. So yeah, I'm glad that I had made rules and I stuck with them. Some of these rules, came very naturally to me, so I would not like to take credit for being a very disciplined person when it comes to those rules, because some of these 10 things I don't even buy. I wouldn't have bought if I would have been a billionaire also, because I just don't want them. I they don't make sense to me. I am very, 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 very intentional in spending my money in general anyways, and there are some things that I am actually really fond of, but I don't spend any money on them because, again, I have a problem with it, or if I don't really pay attention to it, I might have a problem with it. Maybe I have too much or too many of that, and I need to stop, and I need to stop putting my money in because I don't really need that big of amount of that particular thing. So yeah, some things I'm cutting down on, some things I absolutely hate, but this is basically all 10 things that I do not buy. I am not a minimalist, you guys. Just to put it out there, I'm not a minimalist. I am definitely more intentional and have definitely become more intentional with the pandemic. But I put in a lot of thought before making a purchase, especially when it is a big purchase, especially something that I have to put in a lot of money for. So yeah, I am not someone who says that okay, just spend for your needs and necessity and absolutely forget your wants. if you have a disposable income, even in such times, buy a thing or two that, brings you joy or happiness. But again, have some rules. That is something I would definitely suggest. Except this particular thing, I'm not going to suggest or advise anything in this entire podcast, because these all 10 things are extremely subjective to me. Maybe all of these 10 things completely bring joy to you and you find a purpose, and whenever you have some disposable income, you like to spend on these 10 things, and that's completely fine. But these are 10 things that are never going to, that I'm never going to loosen up my wallet for, if that's even a phrase. I'm not sure. Let's begin. The first thing that I don't spend my money on is diaries, which are just like plain diaries without, I'm not talking planners. I love planners. I love planners in which I can make my to-do lists. I have this beautiful 5-year memory book in which I write one line every single day, and then you do it for 5 years, and then you can reflect back on how your day went, in any of these days in 5 years, which is amazing thing. I just started doing it. So those things I like, but just plain normal diaries with no prompted questions, I don't like it. The reason why I don't buy diaries is that even though it's super prompting, I think it's a lot of waste of money and paper, and they don't just fit in my lifestyle, the lifestyle that I have right now. I do have to write down a lot of things for my job as a lawyer, but whenever I do that, I like to do that in notebooks and notepads. Even my firm has given me a lot of stationery, and I buy notebooks and notepads for that purpose. So diaries don't really make sense for me in that respect. In my mind, academic and professional things go in diaries, and creative and fun. Academic and professional things go in strictly in notebooks, and like creative and fun stuff and soulful stuff, they go in diaries. And I don't really need a lot of diaries for that. The only other creative thing that I do is my podcast, for which I have to make notes. And I write sometimes, I write some stories and poems and stuff like that. And I have so many diaries for that already. My father gets a lot of diaries almost every single New Year's or Diwali. He always gets it, and he hands them down to me because he also doesn't write so much on his own. So I have a good stack of diaries at this point that I need to go through with, and I have absolutely no necessity to go buy another pink diary. I used to think that I will be one day that person who journals every single day, who just comes back and, especially when I was a teenager, who just comes back from school and, writes in his pink diary with pink pencil about all of the things that have happened to me in the entire day. But I have just come to terms with it that I'm never going to be that person, and journaling does not bring me joy. So, no diaries for me. Second thing is makeup. I don't buy any kind of makeup except lipsticks, which is essentially, eye makeup and face makeup. I don't buy that. A, because I don't like to put it. B, I have a very sensitive skin. I have rosacea, so I stay away from face makeup as much as I can. Even the things that I put on my face, skincare wise, I'm very, very peculiar and particular about that. And also, when it comes to eye makeup, I have had an eye infection since I was 21, and it's subsiding and it's almost negligible right now. But I don't want to irk anything and go into, put any eye makeup, and even I can't even imagine facing consequences for that, because I've had a very bad history with eye infections. So I don't want to risk it. Plus, I'm extremely careful and extremely comfortable with, even without eye makeup or face makeup. You tell me to go to any event, you tell me to get photographed without anything on my face, and I'm completely fine. Maybe I'll just put a lip gloss, but that's all. I'm very comfortable in my skin, even though I have rosacea all over my face, and hence I have red bumps. Even though my eyes still don't look even, and they have a little bit disparity in their size still. um Even after all of that, I'm completely fine with being in my own skin, and that's my vibe. Sorry. I understand that I am not someone who gets professionally photographed. I'm not someone whose face is on things. I'm anyways a person who doesn't take a lot of photographs. So I can do away without putting, makeup. But I understand, if you are in a field of beauty, if you are in a field of performing arts, makeup would be an essential thing for you. So I'm not telling you to just throw away your makeup. It's a completely subjective thing for me. Third thing, and you'll find it really weird, shoes. Don't get me wrong, I do have shoes. I just don't like to buy shoes for fun. like shoes as an item of fashion. I only buy shoes which are necessary. You need some context. I have a shoe size of 42, which is sometimes, I mean, most of the times, completely rarely unavailable. Like, it's so unavailable in so many brands that it's super hard to even go shoe shopping. Like, if I have to go shoe shopping, I have to, like, basically give myself a prep talk, because it means sitting for 1 hour in whatever shoe store of my choice, basically going to multiple shoe stores also sometimes, and trying to find one shoe that fits my feet, and then finally finding one shoe and just being content with it, which is usually I'll find in the male section or in either black or blue color. And I have been this kid. I've been the same person even when I was a kid, even when my feet had not taken its maximum size. My feet has always been bigger than what my age group person should have. So, so I've always had that difficulty. So I've never really looked at shoes as something, fashionable. Plus, I have an injury, so I definitely, do not go for heels or any shoes that could be comfortable. I look for shoes with comfortable soles, with comfortable material. I don't like my toes being all clenched up. I don't really wear high heels. So there's just a lot of restrictions. I have like literally 5 pairs of shoes. I have a pair of sneakers that I can run in them. I have a household slipper, ghar ka chappal. I have one pair of really beautiful footwear that I wear with my Indian wear, and I have two shoes that are just like formal shoes that I wear to office, which obviously are collecting dust at this point. But just 5 to 6 pairs, and all of them have been bought by me because they had a purpose, and I needed shoe for a particular setting, because shoes are a part of outfit, sadly. And fun fact, I have 2 pairs of office going shoes, because when I bought them, there was raining season going on, and I felt like if my shoes get into the puddle or anything, I should have like dry pair of shoes to wear the next day. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have bought like 2 pairs of shoes for office. So I live a sad life when it comes to shoes, and I don't really care about it. I have always I've grown up like that, so I don't really have a problem with shoes just being necessity and not being a fashion item. So not spending money on unnecessary glittery pink shoes. Fourth, jewelry. Again, very self-explanatory. I don't really like jewelry. Maybe I have some interest in earrings, but not jewelry as a whole. I love jewelry as a concept. I love that it's shiny. I like to see it on other people. When I was really small, I thought that I would become a jewelry designer, and in the back of my notebook, I'd make all these drawings of jewelry, and I thought someday, even though I had absolutely no knack or no talent for it, I wanted to become a jewelry designer for some reason. And yeah, never became that, obviously, and can't wear jewelry. That's why I don't spend my money on it at all. There is no point. I get extremely irritated and itchy, even with rings, even with like neck pieces. I keep fidgeting with them. I want to throw them off in a lake or something. So I have very, very few pieces, that I only have because I have to go to Indian weddings sometimes, or some events where, it doesn't feel nice if you don't have earrings on. But I think earrings is the maximum extent to which I'll go and buy any jewelry. Otherwise, until unless it's extremely necessary or I'm being held on a gunpoint, I don't buy any jewelry. Don't point gun at me for buying jewelry. I'll buy it, but I mean, you get the point. The fifth one is showpieces. I am not buying anything just because it looks beautiful. I mean, showpieces by the nomenclature also, they have no utility and purpose. These gigantic clocks and these vases and these lamps and these flower pots and, these I don't even know what, these artifacts. I am not up for them. I love my money too much to spend on these frivolous things. Never be spending my money on that. They just stand in one corner and just gather dust. Literally, they serve no purpose in my life and in anybody's life, in fact. I understand that people like to, jazz up their place and like to put one piece per corner, and they don't really like their halls or their bedrooms or whatever to be empty. So I understand if you have a taste of interior decoration and you want to go and buy showpieces. I don't really do that. Like I like my simple, beautiful surroundings. I like my things to be organized, and I like my spaces to be quite empty, and I like my spaces to breathe. When I should look at my surroundings, they shouldn't be cluttered, because I feel like as cluttered as your surroundings are, the more cluttered your mind is, and I don't want it. My surroundings should be organized, my mind should be organized, so that I can be sane. Even though I hardly sound sane at this point because of my aversion to showpieces, but I am trying. You guys, even I think gifting showpieces is such a lazy job. You gift showpieces because you don't really want to become creative. And see, again, if you're buying a showpiece which you think that person would definitely like, and it's something subjective, then it's still fine. But if you're just buying showpieces because you think that you don't really know about that person's personality or mentality, and you want to give them just some generic gift, showpieces are great for that, but then they just collect dust, and I think they are very lazy gift. So I never gift also showpieces, and I hate receiving them. Not that here anybody wants to gift me anything, but like no showpieces, no like small trinkly things, those knickknacks that people get, no key rings, no like bag charms, nothing. I have never bought a single thing like that. um, yeah, you remember Sex in the City, Carrie? In the second movie of Sex in the City, she actually says she's decorating her apartment, and she's saying to Big, her husband, that I am completely done with the apartment. That's just one corner, and I have to put one piece over there, and then I'm done. Why do you need a separate piece for every separate corner? Let it be, no, every corner doesn't really have to be filled. Now, I am definitely not the interior decorator who takes decisions on her house. Otherwise, I would have thrown half of the things away. But showpieces are not my thing. I think you got the point. I need to calm down. Sixth thing is stick-ons, like nail extensions, like eyelash extensions, like hair extensions. You must have gotten the hang of it by now that I'm very simple when it comes to beauty. I don't really spend a lot of my money over there. Clothes are the only thing that I'm actually fascinated with, but other than that, no, nothing else. Nail extensions, eyelash extensions, hair extensions, absolutely no. I feel very weirded out, in fact, to even think about it, because the sound that these extension make when you put them, like the glue sound or the clipped sound when you put your hair extensions, it's really weird. I get really grossed out by that. Even thinking about that is making me uncomfortable. So and also I'm very very happy with the way my nails, my eyelashes are. I don't want to glue anything to my body parts. I'm just not sold on the idea. Plus, if you like it, you just go ahead and you know what, you just buy it and enjoy it. They just don't bring me any joy personally. Eighth thing is plants. Don't get me wrong. I think plants are great, but I absolutely don't hate plants. I'm not a plant hater. Don't come at me. I just don't think I'm responsible or even adult enough to even own a plant or take care of a plant. Let alone, be like trees and outdoor plants. I have been horrible. I have had a horrible track record with even indoor plants. I have killed like 3 indoor plants in like a month of like, in the matter of 6 months. I don't know how. I don't even know if it's possible to kill indoor plants, but I was able to achieve that feat. Because you can't give them too much AC, you can't give them too much sun, but you have to give them some AC and you have to give them some sun. So that balance I never knew, and till the point I maybe got a little bit hang of that balance, I have had 3 casualties. I don't want to have more blood on my hands. So yeah, I don't think maybe when I become an adult afterwards, I mean, I'm already an adult, but adult in true sense, where I can be actually a caretaker of a plant and I can be sincere about it. Only then I'll be going ahead and investing my money in plants. Till then, no plans for me. I'm actually very very terrified to even have a plant around me. My mother has a beautiful garden. She has a knack for gardening, and she's really like an expert in that. So if she wants me to buy anything in that respect, I will be buying that, but not for me, not for something that I am primarily responsible for. Next point is luxury stuff, luxury handbags, clothes, cars, gadgets, anything luxury designer. Guys, I'm not really averse to the fact of luxury and designer stuff. Yes, there are some restrictions and hesitations that I have in that respect, but at some point in my life, I actually do want to have luxury handbags. I'm a huge handbag lover. But right now, I think it would be really obnoxious and insensitive for me to even go ahead and spend my money in luxury and designer stuff. Especially, when there's a pandemic going on, you guys. People don't even have enough food to eat. And just because we have all these immense privileges where we can eat, where we can be ourselves and still have a normal life, um, it doesn't mean that we should spend our savings on things as frivolous as that. We're going through something very, very extraordinary. Yes, I'm saying that I still shop a little bit here and there, but to shop on, like to buy a luxury and designer stuff when I've never bought it. I come from a simple background, so nobody has had a luxury designer handbag in my entire family. And even I have not had that. But to start that in the middle of a pandemic is something I cannot bring myself to do. It's something that I might be doing after 2, 3 years, but not right now. Um, and also, even if the pandemic would not have been there, I'm a 25-year-old. My career is in its infancy, literally. I don't think right now I should be spending or blowing off my money on things that absolutely are just, for pomp and show. That luxury designer, no matter how much I love fashion and no matter how much I love handbags, even if, there would not have been a pandemic, I would not have bought it before turning at least 27, 28, because right now whatever savings I have or whatever money I could have is to be spent on my own self. Right now I want to see if I want to take some risks in my career, see if I want higher education, look at all those avenues, and I need to have a ground on which I can stand on, and that ground is going to be my savings. So I need to really spend and save judicially. um, right now I'm very happy with my career, with the place I'm working in. But if I ever have to take a risk, and that risk means having, like, facing unemployment for some months, I should be ready for it. And if my parents need anything, I should be there for them. I'm their only child. So I have those kind of things to think about instead of luxury things. So yeah, luxury things are not happening to me right now at this point in my life, but maybe some point later, maybe I'll buy something like a Louis Vuitton bag or a Chanel bag. Let's see. I'll keep you posted. Number 9 is things that are just shiny but absolutely have no utility in my life. A very beautiful and apt example of that would be Bath and Body Works or Body Shop's sanitizers. Those sanitizers have no alcohol, dude. They have just like glitter, and that's the exact example of what I was trying to say. We all get attracted to things that shine, but we have to be very careful about it and keep reminding ourselves that all that glitters is not gold. So I have become conscious of that, and I have not really been conscious of that. And I think making my own money made me conscious of that fact. When you make your own money, you get really, really possessive of money, and you understand, how hard it is to even earn in the first respect. So yeah, I don't like, for example, right now if I go to a medical store, I would buy sanitizer that is from a good company, that has good alcohol content, that I think would be effective in cleaning my hand, instead of going through, what kind of bottle it is and what kind of color of the liquid is. I really don't care about all that. Yes, after you have gone through all the considerations and you still have choices, and where, there is one thing which, looks more physically appealing to you and the other thing doesn't, but both are, you can choose whatever. With respect to utility, they both are equally, useful. Then you can go ahead and be creative, but not before that. I used to be this person, who, when I was supposed to buy my first mobile phone when I went to law school, all I wanted was a red phone. You guys, I was such a dumb person. I wanted a red phone, irrespective of what company, brand, functions it had. I didn't even care if that phone had a camera or not. I just wanted a red phone. And I was stupid. Thank God I got a phone which was black, but it had all the functions that it needed to perform for me at that point. And I have learned that lesson. I remember when I went to buy my MacBook Air. I have a MacBook Air, and I got it, I think, in the start of my job or something. And I asked my father about it, and I was talking, and he's like, "Listen, what all colors it is available in?" And I'm like, "It's only one color, silver." And he's like, "Go ahead and buy it," because he knew that I can't now mess up the color of the decision, like the decision because of color, and I'm not taking this decision because it comes in a pink color. So he was like, fine. Then so you're just looking at the hardware and the functions that it can perform. So I have this shopping rule, Now the things that I need to buy in my day-to-day life, I don't really go by their physical appearance. After I have done all the other checks, only then their physical appearance is something that I take into account, not before that. 10th and the last thing is that I do not buy things that I very foolishly assume that would be quote unquote investment in my future self. That means I don't really buy anything that I don't need at this moment, but I have this illusion that maybe my future self would need it at some point. Like right now, I'm not going to office, and that's why for the past 1 year, I have not bought any single thing that could even closely come into the purview or a scope of formals. I don't need formals because I work in my pajamas. I work from home. And whenever I have to look a little bit put together in Zoom calls, I have formals for that. So I don't really have to buy new clothes. I've not bought a single pair of like shoes. Of course, I hate buying shoes. And or like even things that I love, like clothes and handbags, I have not gone ahead and bought it. Things that, I would need, as an office going adult. The only thing that I have bought, the only clothes I've bought in the past 1 year is maybe t-shirt or a sweatshirt, because that's something that has utility for me right now. We think that a future self would need it. It's as if you are staying in Sahara Desert, but you have a dream of going to Canada one day, so you buy an overcoat, even though right now you won't be wearing it, and you absolutely have no plan to go to Canada in near future, but you think someday you'll need it. So that someday philosophy, it was very, very necessary and also equally hard to just wean out of my system, but something that I had to do. Whenever your future self will have a need for something, I'm sure that future self will have time and resources to go and buy that thing. So whatever time and resources you have right now, just use it to treat your present self. Use it to buy something that is useful for you, or rather, what, if you really want to help your future self, save and invest that money. I think that's something that would be more beneficial than ever to your future self, because no matter what happens, your future self would always need and appreciate more and more money. Now again, I'm not saying just don't buy anything at all and save every penny that you have. Just of course be wise with your money, but also have fun till it does not destroy your bank balance. And always, always, always remember, just because you have it in your bank account does not mean you have to spend it all. Okay, now I'm just going to quit being your grandma. These were the 10 things that I don't buy and I absolutely don't spend my money on. I'm sure you'll have a different list. So if you have a different list, please message it to me. My Instagram is Ananya2893, ANANYA2893. I entertain all conversations, you guys. Just because this podcast is one-sided conversation, it does not mean that that I take advantage of it and I don't want to hear and listen to what you have to say. So come and join me, talk to me on my Instagram. I'm readily available over there. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.